10 minutes in, how would you describe your experience?
Hi everyone, I'm Lee and welcome to a new video. Today's video is all about the dress you can see in the back. It is a dress that is inspired by the famous strawberry dress by the designer Lirika Matoshi. When I saw the dress last year, I knew I wanted to make my own version of it because it's so pretty. I found this amazing snowflake tulle online and turned it into a strawberry dress inspired winter dress. Ta-da! Yeah, so this video is a making of and also a little vlog at the end. I decided it would be a cool idea to actually take pictures in the snow with that dress. My fingers and toes decided otherwise.
How would you describe your experience?
It is so rare that we have snow in Berlin. I was a bit in a hurry because I only had 2 days to finish this. I could have started this dress earlier, but that wouldn't be really me, would it? It is a bit sloppy in some parts, but it's fine. Stay tuned for the video and have fun. I first made a very quick sketch and it's not the best, but it did the job. I started by making a half circle out of blue lining fabric. The fabric wasn't perfect and a bit stiff for my taste, but the best I could find in a short amount of time. I drew a half or quarter circle because I doubled the layers of the fabric. It has the circumference of my waist and therefore I first had to calculate the radius, and if you think I finally made use of the 13 years of math I had in school, no. I used one of the many online calculators, typed in my measurements, and they did the job for me.
Disappointed, but not surprised.
What am I doing?
The outer radius is the desired length of the skirt. I chose roughly 70 centimeters so it goes slightly over my knees. Then I could take my beautiful snowflake tulle and cut out 2 long pieces that are slightly longer than the underskirt and about 4 meters wide. I could have gone with just 1 layer, but I wanted it to be extra puffy. I then sewed over one long side with the longest stitch possible on my sewing machine, and I secured one end, leaving the other open so I could pull on one thread and gather the fabric to the desired length. I reduced the 4 meters to about 60 centimeters, matching the circumference of my waist. Once I was happy with my ruffles, I went over with a zigzag stitch to secure them so they would stay like this until the end of time. For the top, I used a simple shirt as a base pattern so I would easily get my shoulder length, armhole width and so on. I then adjusted the pattern so I would have a low neckline on both the front and the back. I placed the pattern on my fabric, stole my boyfriend's weights to keep the pattern in place and cut it out, adding a bit of sewing allowance. I roughly pinned it together and put it over my self-made dress form, check the description for the link to the making of, and added darts on the side and below the breast to give it a nicer fit. The pieces on the back are pretty simple and have no darts. I added a layer of snowflake tulle to both sides of the front and back and then added another layer to the front parts. This time about 3 times as wide so I could gather the fabric and get nice and puffy ruffles as well. I attached this extra layer to the side and repeated the ruffle process I already did on the skirt, gathering the fabric at the top and bottom. I quickly sewed together the front and back pieces on the sides. Once I roughly gathered the fabric, I put it on my dress form and draped the ruffles the way I liked, pinned it down and sewed the pieces together. And I was working a bit sloppily here because I was in a hurry. For the first time in forever! We had snow in Berlin and I had to finish this dress in 2 days so we could still take advantage of the winter wonderland. I thought it would have been a great idea, but my fingers and toes thought otherwise.
How would you describe your experience?
I laid down my skirt and pinned both 2 layers on top and sewed them together along the waist. I pinned the skirt to the top and sewed them together. I left the back open so I could add a zipper at the end, and this is one of the ugliest zippers I've ever sewn, and I'm only showing to you for 1 frame. Enjoy! For the sleeves, I quickly drafted a simple pattern that widens towards the end so I could have nice ruffles. I was only using the tulle fabric here. And yes, the pattern looks nothing like the piece I cut out because I made up a new pattern in my mind while cutting the fabric. I sewed in a little elastic band so it would stay in place on my arm and I would get these cute little ruffles. To make the top a tad prettier and hide the messy fringes, I turned the edges inside out and stitched them together by hand to get super clean and smooth edges the easy way. Again, I was working a bit sloppily here, but time was running against me, the snow was melting and I didn't care. I then added a belt to further define the shape and to hide the ugly sewing mess that was going on around the waist. It has a foam base for extra stability. I only had small A4 foam sheets at home, so I cut out 2 parts and sewed them together in the middle with a white zigzag stitch. On top of the foam, I sewed silver fabric as a base and another layer of holographic organza on top for the extra shimmer and sparkle. Normally, I would have added little hooks to close it at the back, but I had none at home and all shops here in Germany were still closed, so I was using safety pins for the photo shoot to close it. It's not pretty, but it did the job again. So once I finished the dress, it was time for the photo shoot the other day. I was going for a simple makeup. Well, simple makeup in terms of cosplay, so it's still a lot. Applying mostly pink eyeshadow on my eyelids, nose, cheeks to get that really cold look, which in hindsight I wouldn't have needed because I was naturally freezing. Anyway. Of course, I store my wigs very carefully and I did not spend a humongous amount of time searching my wig in every corner of the flat until I found it in one of numerous wig piles. No. I spent about 2 hours on my wig trying to get a nice up-to hairstyle but failing pretty badly, so I ended up wearing the wig open. The following advice is mainly addressed to myself.
Never style a wig just before the photo shoot.
Why do you never learn? We went to a little forest and I don't know if I already mentioned this, but it was so cold. I hate the cold.
Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum.
We could take the bus for a few stations to transport us from this ugly city snow to winter wonderland.
I never expected to see snow in Berlin ever again.
So anyway, we're deep in the woods now and this is like 5 minutes away from the next major street, so very convenient. Welcome to base camp. 200 IQ move.
This is my top 10 worst ideas. No, actually not. I had worse ideas.
Here's your top 1 worst idea. 10 minutes in, how would you describe your experience? This brand new episode of Shitty Rigs, introducing the wood mirror.
Best we can do.
Lee just poured boiling hot tea over her hands. She's about to do it again.
It's fine. It's fine.
Please don't do
Or
this.
I peed in the snow. Who
Please
knows?
don't do this at home. Here's a sort of explainer. There's no one who hates the cold as Lee hates the cold.
No one. No one.
Like literally, I've never seen this. I know all women hate the cold, but Lee's certainly next level.
Anyway, some pictures turned out pretty and other pictures I looked like a kitten in a freezer. That was the quickest photo shoot we ever did. 10 minutes and we were done because the cold did bother me a lot actually.
Content.
My fingers were so cold that I couldn't tie my shoes myself.
Yeah.
And because it was so very cold and we finished the photo shoot so very quickly, we went outside again when it was a bit warmer to take a few video shots to actually show the dress a little bit better. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed seeing me suffer in the snow. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like and also subscribe for new videos in the future. And see you for the next video. Bye bye. Really cold look, which in hindsight I wouldn't have needed. The outer radius is the desired length of the skirt. I attached this extra layer to the side and repeated the ruffle process I already did on the... For the sleeves, I quickly drafted a simple pattern that widens toward the end, so towards the end. I then added a belt. Why is that so hard to say? Normally, I would have added little hooks to close it at the back, but I had none at home. I don't know if you hear this, but that's my empty stomach because I'm so hungry. Wait. Sorry.